Conor, what's this week been like in training?
Yeah, it's been good. We've had a good couple of days on the grass, obviously, and another good one today. And just getting ready for Exeter. Really, I think this is probably going to be the last kind of decent period of grass time, I suppose, coming into this busy schedule. We'll have a couple of days next week as well, but probably not as much as this week. And then probably from Exeter onwards until Liverpool, like I said, after the game on Saturday, it's going to be pretty full on. So yeah, making the most of this week on the grass is important.
Yeah, I bet it is. Mark Roberts and Josh Earl, are they fit to start if selected?
Yeah, they're going to be available and in the squads. The games just came a little bit too quick for them prior to this one. They've both been on the grass all our training days and looking stronger. So yeah, the last couple of games have just become a little bit too quick for them. But from Exeter onwards, they'll be available for selection. Yeah.
And I want to ask about your left backs in terms of Obeta and Gent. How kind of close are they to being able to start to give you that kind of natural balance on that side of the defence?
Yeah, still a couple of weeks yet. Nate's progressing well. Not quite going to make this weekend. Probably won't make Boxing Day, and then maybe after that, you're looking at more his time scale, similar to Georgie. Going to miss the next couple. Uh, Georgie just had a little bit of a hamstring issue off the back of the Peterborough game. But nothing major. But we're hoping probably over the next couple of weeks that we'll see them return onto the grass.
I know we've talked a lot about kind of clean sheets and defence and errors and stuff like that. Do you feel it has helped though when you've managed to get kind of square pegs in square holes at the back and got that natural balance and had, for example, Mark Roberts fit to be able to lead things?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I think. Look, it makes things a little bit easier when you've got people in the position that where you want them to be. I think obviously that would be a help for us moving forward. The back line obviously over the last couple of games understands some of the goals that we've given away, and we've spoken about that and have a real in-depth meeting around it. And I think obviously an improvement in that area will definitely help over the course of the Christmas period. Where we look strong in terms of a team output, particularly obviously moving forward. The defenders obviously have made huge strides over the last couple of months in terms of what we want and what myself and the coaching staff want. We're defending better as a team for sure. It's just cutting out them errors and them poor goals will definitely move us forward in a better position. I think in moving into the busy period.
You've clearly put yourselves in a strong position in the league. You're scoring goals. Do you kind of feel that if you're going to have success this year, whatever looks like, then defence is as a team or as a unit is the area that you kind of need to improve the most?
Yeah, potentially. I think we need to defend better as a team over anything first and foremost. I think the last two games, Lincoln and obviously Leyton Orient, there was just poor goals conceded. I think we had made decent strides with Luton and with Peterborough with two clean sheets in short succession. So look, I just think in all aspects of the game, becoming more consistent is the big message. I think whether it's attack, defence, or just results in general, just becoming that little bit more consistent is really, really important. I think, look, we play some really good stuff at times. The defenders, people like Shep and their distribution has come on tenfold. I think Shep's ability on the ball now is a really high level. Him playing into midfield and finding the players that we want to get on the ball as quickly as possible. And if we can keep that level really, really high, and then obviously cut out the errors a little bit over the last couple of games, I think we'll be on the right track.
Will the back four be an area that you're looking to strengthen in January?
Potentially, look, I think it will come down to ins outs, what that looks like. I think when everyone's fit, I think we've got we have plenty of defenders. We've got obviously a lot of attackers. My big thing really is getting a really kind of decent number of players by the end of January, because I think we've obviously already know that our schedule is going to be pretty full on from Liverpool until the start mid-March. We're going to be pretty relentless. So having cover in all areas, whether that's defenders, midfielders, or attackers, is going to be really, really important, because for lads to carry that load Saturday, Tuesday, pretty much every week for 6 to 8 weeks is going to be pretty full on.
Are you expecting all the loan players that you've got at the club right now to still be at the club at the end of January?
Potentially, I think that's ongoing with loan players. I think there may be chops and changes from that point of view. There's still time to kind of figure out what exactly I want from that point of view. But yeah, that may be something that may change.
And in terms of John Russell, I know he scored last weekend, and a player that we've discussed quite a bit. You're always going to discuss players, I know, that aren't necessarily starting every week. With his contract situation, is he somebody that could go in January? Have you had those discussions with him?
Yeah, I think with John, he's looking for more game time more regularly, and he's at that age now where he wants to play all the time. I think I think John was very, very effective last year in the way that I played in the 10 games that I had. This year, he's found it a little bit more difficult to get in the team. I think over the last couple of games, he's done extremely well. Peterborough, and obviously the impact that he made at Leyton Orient. So I know he's going to play a big part over the Christmas period because he's a valuable member of the squad. And then obviously what happens in January, then we'll see if he's here at the end of it. Brilliant. And if there's something else that happens, then we'll take action on that as well. But yeah, look, we all know that he's coming to the end of his contract, and it's always a kind of a funny time. Will he stay? Will he not? Will he extend? Will he not? Or however that looks. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
It's the final away game of the calendar year, one of the longest, obviously. How's the next few days look like? Different plans, different preparations, I imagine, given the distance and all that.
Yeah, no, it's very, very similar week from kind of Monday through to Friday. The only difference in terms of Friday really is that we're going to try and set off that bit earlier, just to get down there and not too late, and the lads have a time to relax and look after their bodies when they do get down there. So yeah, it's pretty much normal. Just setting off that little bit earlier on the Friday really.
Bit of festive karaoke on the bus down, or are you going to try and avoid that as much as possible?
Well, if I'm taking anything off your jumper, then there might be a few songs somewhere.
Good. That's what I like to hear at this time of year. Few thoughts on Exeter City. I mean, they're struggling a bit in the lower half of the table, albeit it is very tight. I know they've got some financial issues at the minute. Kind of what are you expecting and what are you preparing for?
Yeah, really tough game again. There's every game at this level or at any level brings its own challenges. They're a team that don't get beat by threes and fours. It's very tight games. They obviously want to come out on the right side of it as much as possible. So I'm expecting a tight affair. One that they'll be ready for and we'll be ready for. Can we take the next level forward again after Leyton Orient and build on what we've had and build on this week? I think the lads are in a really, really good place. To hit this busy period head on. And we'll have done, all our work and all our detail, and all the players will have the clear clarity from the game plan point of view. Come 3:00, and hopefully, obviously, then the lads can put on a good performance that I feel like they're more than capable of doing again.
I'm sure you've been at clubs in difficult positions yourself. Do you kind of feel for the players, the staff, the supporters when a club is going through some difficulties off the field?
Yeah, it's not easy. It can rally you though at the same time. It can bring you together. It can bring you tighter. I was delighted for him, obviously, to get the really good draw in the FA Cup as well. So that will help him, no doubt, which is great for him. Similar draw to ourselves, getting a big one away, which is always the one that everyone wants. So no, look, I completely understand it. It can be challenging, but at the same time, they're a team that can then cause you issues. And like I said, they don't get beat by threes and fours. Just because of where their league position is, they're always in all games. So we're expecting a similar concept come Saturday.
And just finally, for me, Conor, I mean, it's a shame the fixtures, how they've worked out with Callum Simpson fighting in Leeds this weekend, and you and the rest of the team down in Exeter. I know there's a kind of close connection between Callum and the club. He can be a real inspiration for people in the town, can't he, at the minute?
Yeah, amazing. It's a shame, really, that we're down in Exeter and he's fighting in Leeds. It would have been great if we had a home game or an away game closer so people could make the fight, because it's a fight I'd like to have gone myself, because he obviously shows support to us and we want to show that support back. Will it take away from our away attendance at Exeter potentially, because people want to go to the fight and whatnot? So it's a shame really that it can't be worked where we all want to support each other. But no, an amazing guy. Obviously, look, I've met him on many occasions now, and I wish him nothing but the best for the weekend, and hopefully he can get another victory. All right, thank you.
Hi, Conor. Obviously, it's the first of 5 games in a fortnight. What are you looking to see specifically, and most importantly from your team in that really busy run?
Yeah, just hopefully consistency. I think this 5-game period now will come thick and fast, and there's literally game after game after game for 5 games, like you said, until the Liverpool game. So really looking to hit this period head on, and can we stay consistent and pick up as many points as possible, really.
You think you'll maybe learn things and see things from your team and certain players that you possibly haven't seen in this spell where there haven't been as many games, especially league games, in the last few months?
Potentially, yeah. Look, I think with the nature of the game that we're in, with so many games, with training every single day, you learn from your players constantly. So there'll be something crop up that I really really like, or that I don't like, or whatever, and it's just the nature that we're in. So yeah, there'll be constant things that we're learning about players all the time.
Obviously, just outside the playoffs at the moment in terms of a few positions. Do you feel like if you to get further up, that would make any difference in terms of January attracting players, or do you think, from your experience, that doesn't have too much of an impact?
Yeah, maybe so. I think look, we've got our targets. We've had some discussions around it. We'll see what happens. Obviously, like any nature of any transfer window, there'll be some ins, there'll be some outs. If we can get momentum going in the next 5 games. No matter who we bring in, they're coming into a group that are in a really good place, and they'll be able to fit in that little bit easier. If we don't be as consistent as I would like over the Christmas period, then people are coming into the building, that will make people kind of be on their toes a little bit more, because we won't be on a good run. So I think it's just the nature of bringing players in the building that are coming to a really exciting group in terms of good form, or one that has had a little bit of a dip, and it may spur 1 or 2 into life, because their players will come under threat all of a sudden.
It's no secret that you wanted the last window, you wanted one more attack or another attacker, and obviously didn't quite happen. Is that the same now, or with players like Fabio Gello, do you feel coming back? Obviously, that's a bit like a new signing. You feel that you're quite good in that area?
No, I think obviously Fabs will help for sure over this period and moving forward. Fabs knows what I think about him. He's a really exciting player. He scored a couple yesterday for the 21s, and he got like about 70 minutes into him. So I think Fab's pretty much done in terms of 21s games now, and he'll be with us consistently moving forward. So that's a big help. Still think that we need a couple of attackers for sure over the window. I think with the amount of games that we have and how aggressive we play in and out of possession, that load will be really difficult for players to start every single game. So I still think we need a couple of attackers for sure to help people with the load that's going to be happening.
And cover for Connell and Bland in central midfield, or are you happy with sort of the likes of Amal and Phillips dropping in there when needed?
Yeah, no, I think I'm very, very happy with the midfielders we got a brilliant array of kind of players between obviously young and a little bit older. I've been really happy with Philo as a number 6 in the last 3 games. I think he's, like I said before, he's such an intelligent footballer. I think he can do more roles than what people think. I think he's been pigeonholed into a certain role at this football club. And it kind of hinders him, for only to be in that role. I think he can play in more roles in the middle of the pitch for sure. I think over the last 3 games he's done really, really well as that number 6. His distribution's has been top. I think he can even crank that up even more because of how intelligent and how technically good he is. So I'm happy with Philo and all the rest of them in that area.
Summer was a story of obviously moving players on who maybe wouldn't fit your system or what you didn't think would contribute, and obviously that freed up room for players. Is that a little bit a case, especially early in the window in this squad as well?
Just freeing up players in general, sorry?
So moving on players that maybe aren't contributing or playing that much, so you have a bit of room to bring in.
I think that's always naturally the case, Doug, to be honest. I think, look, if people aren't contributing or aren't playing as much, they want to leave, and then that might open the door for bringing people in. So I just think that's just the natural cycle that we're in.
Yeah. Just on Exeter, finally, obviously, it's a tough, everyone says about everywhere, tough place to go, but obviously it's so far, and I don't think they've lost in 6 games in all competitions as well. So they are, even in their difficulties, they're making it into a bit of a fortress that you'll have to combat.
No, absolutely, yeah. We're fully aware that, they're decent at home and their form's okay. I think their league position doesn't reflect that. So we know that we've got a task in our hands, and it's going to be difficult, so we need to be fully prepared for what they're going to throw at us. And obviously, look, we'll have a game plan in place, but we know that we have to be bang at it to get the right result.
Thanks, Conor.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, mate. Nick from the Oxford, how you doing?
Hiya.
given you've got 3 games to play on a lot of the teams that you're in and around, does that come into your thinking as well in January, getting numbers in to manage the load that's going to be forthcoming?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think there's going to be a fourth one added to that as well with Wickham, obviously, with the Liverpool game. That's on the weekend of us potentially, obviously, meant to be playing Wickham. That's going to be called off. So I think that's really, really important. So we're going to have 4 to catch up on pretty much from the start of January. So yeah, I think having bodies in the building is going to be important from that point of view.
And when you're in that chase for a playoff spot, is that a psychological advantage having 3-4 games in hand, do you think?
You can look at it both ways. I think you can look at it for games in hand. You can look at it, if we had played them games, how many points would we have? Would we be closer to it? Would we be in the same position? So it's really difficult to judge. You can look at it both ways. Just think over the next kind of 5-6 games, can we get ourselves into a place where we're in touching distance when our games on hand do start kind of getting played, let's say. So can we get ourselves in a really positive position when our first kind of game in hand starts, and then we'll have kind of 4 between that point to the start of March.
Is it frustrating that you're a few games behind when you look at the table?
Again, like you said, it's just you can look at it both ways. You can look at it and think if we had an extra 4, or if we had an extra 3, or if we'd be here. But you have to accept the position that we're in terms of, we do have games in hand. But the big thing for me is, can we close the gap before the games in hand come up so we're even closer again?
I think I'm right in saying, apart from your goalkeeper, you've not had anyone ever present this season. Has that played, the fact that you're always chopping and changing, you don't have an ever present out, has that played into your inconsistencies at times?
No, I don't think so. I just think with the amount of games that we play, we've had a couple of extra FA Cup games and whatnot, and I think you have to rotate. Injuries will naturally happen as well. We've been very, very fortunate with Murph that he's been pretty much fit for the full season. So, people that play outfield, they'll get a couple of niggles or yellow card situations, and, that might chop and change in consistency. So, no, from that point of view, I don't think that probably plays a factor. I just think, the group's growing, it's getting better. And hopefully, as we move into the busy period and into the second half of the season, we'll come just that little bit more consistent as the group grows.